Hi everyone, I'm SJ and this is Infinite Fire Readings. Thank you so much for being here. I assist with manifestation and I do card readings as well to assist with this. And my videos are here to help you continuously and successfully create the life of your dreams. So let's jump on into the video today. I wanted to talk about an experience that I had. A success story of my own when it came to creating a change in a relationship. And I have permission from this person to talk about this story. It is my mother. And I've discussed this with her. Thank you for your support, lovely mum. I wanted to talk about the relationship that I had with my mother in terms of our phone communication. So this success story is about changing a relationship that you have with someone and how you can change the nature of how the communication is occurring as well. Now, I've always had a relatively good relationship with my mother. Bless her for dealing with all my crap as I grew up. You don't need to comment, Mum. You don't need to comment. Anyway, the relationship I had with Mum was that I was calling her quite regularly. Now, we live interstate with each other. And I always got upset with Mum that she wasn't calling me. I was always upset with this. I really wanted my mother to call me more. And we ended up having this big kind of argument over it, which I definitely would have instigated because, anyway, we're good. All forgiven. We had a bit of an argument about it, a heated discussion. It did get quite deep. It got quite into some serious tones about thoughts that were possibly running through both of our minds, which I won't go into detail here. However, from that, it came out, the feelings that I had and the feelings that she had around our connection and where it was at the current time. And I, said to her that I wanted her to call me more, in a nutshell, is what I told her. And she revealed some other stuff to me about how she felt about my energy towards her. So it was all very healing. As hard as it was quite a healing conversation. Anyway, we decided to change our phone call arrangement in that moment so that she could see me more, so that we could Skype more rather than just chat on the phone. And we made it less frequent, though we made it a regular thing. Now, just rewind a little bit. Before this, I had started affirming, Mum calls me all the time, Mum calls me all the time, just for the sake of exploring it a little bit. I think there was one time that she gave me a call, or twice where she gave me a call first, and I was like, what is this? What is this? It felt pretty magical. Though after that arrangement, when we started off, we actually call once a week now, and we call Skype, and Mum calls me first every time. I just want to put that out there. And thank you, Mum. It means a lot to me. And I don't even think it's as conscious to her as it is to me. She's just like, yeah, I'll call you. She wants to practice her Skype dialing. Though once a week we call, and Mum always calls first now, and this means a lot to me. And it was interesting going through the process as well as to why it was so important for me to have her ring me first. And I won't really go into that now because, anyway, it's good though. It's all good things. Though, we started making it a 2-week affair. So I said, okay, every 2 weeks we'll call on Skype. And it became 1 week. Though in that 2 weeks, the first time, I remember there being moments where I really wanted to just call Mum. And I recognized something. I realized that my mother was sort of a safety net for me. It was a safety blanket, an emotional person I could just reach out to and just be like, bleh. Which isn't really how I want to come to my mother, even though mothers, or the right guardian or parent or person in our lives can be that space for us. The relationship I wanted to have with my mother was something that I wanted to be more mature and more of a friendship-based level now that, I'm a full-grown adult. And yeah, even though, of course, she'll always be my mother and I'll always be her daughter in terms of how we've built our relationship, and that's a good thing, there were those moments within that 2-week period that I just wanted to reach out, and I stopped myself. I said, no, Mum's fine. For one, I got worried. I used to get worried a lot, like what's happening with Mum? Is she okay? Mum's fine. And 2, you can handle whatever this is that you're going through on your own. Stop. So that was really good. And doing that, I think Mum actually reached out to me within the first fortnight early. She called me within the week. She called me and she said, and pardon the sirens in the background, though she said to me, 2 weeks is a long time. Because I was calling her every 3 times a week, calling Mum. And which is fine. I mean, every relationship is different, right? Though I really wanted it to be different. I wanted her to call me first. And I did want to take away the dependency that I had on my mother to just reach out to her and emotionally vent or splurge or whatever, because it wasn't always pretty. And Mum didn't always cop the best part of myself. And anyone who's particularly been close to me, knows that I have emotions inside. But yeah, we're all in our own place, and bless it, it's all a path. This is a very personal story. We'll see if I put this on Patreon or YouTube, we'll see. Anyway, so she called me then, we did the fortnightly thing, then we decided to make it once a week, and it's been like that ever since, and it's been very good, and Mum always calls me first. It's awesome. It's really, really nice, and I really like it. And I think Mum really likes it because we actually get to see each other now when we live interstate at the moment. So, and it also just means that our relationship is a lot healthier than it was. So in terms of my, reaching out and kind of getting, getting upset that she wouldn't reach out to me, though really I never gave her the chance to either, because I was so in my own story about, well, I've got to call her or she won't call me, that I'd just reach out to her whenever. And Mum probably knew that I was always going to call her, so never really, she'd think of calling me, though probably just never really had the inspiration to call me, because I would never leave that door open wide enough for her to be able to do it. So yeah, it was interesting looking at that flip around. It is actually a success story for me, because it is something that I've wanted for a very long time. I don't know how personal to get with this, though. I will. I'll get a bit personal about it, because I think it's important to look at the reasons why we want the things that we want and why we want relationships to change the way we do. So I've spoken to you a little bit about, look at what it means for you not to have the thing that you're getting. So say I'm not getting the phone calls from my mother. In that time where I didn't call Mum, and then Mum finally called me first, I cried. I cried happy tears, because even though I knew this, even though my mother has always shown me this in multitudes of ways, this call, her calling me first, I had made mean that she loves me. So inadvertently, what I had made mean that she wasn't calling me was that she didn't really love me. But I know that that's not true, because my mother has been so gracious and giving all of her life towards me and has been an incredible mother and parent. Though I realized that it was a big shift for me emotionally, the story I had been telling myself. And when Mum finally called, I was like, my mum loves me. My mum loves me. She does want to call me. She does want to call me. And so personal, so personal. Though the reason I share it, and the reason I share this personal story, which might seem inconsequential to you, this might be something inconsequential, it might be something really big to you. Everyone is on their own different journey with manifesting and creating the life they want. And the reason I share such a personal thought is because it is usually the underlying thoughts that we do not see that cause the reactions in our 3D world, the reactions like me getting upset at my mother for not calling me when I'd call her constantly anyway, was because of an underlying belief probably that if she doesn't call me, she doesn't really love me or doesn't really care about me. That was a falsity, by the way, definitely a falsity. My mother cares about me greatly. I can give you a myriad of evidence as to why. There's not just, and we all have those people in our lives. Though it was interesting when she finally called me first, when I took away my own training wheels and decided, no, we've organized to call once a fortnight. Mum's fine, deal with your shit. Mum's fine, deal with your shit. Finally. And when she called me in the middle of that time frame, I cried because, for one, it was a manifestation. My mum calls me first. And two, I realized that I'd made it mean my mum loves me. So, and she does love me, though it really, it just really meant a lot to receive that call, and understanding why is to do with the thought that I had assigned, the meaning I had assigned. So a lot of the times when we want to change up relationships, we want to see certain behaviors, or we want certain things to come about from a relationship, it can really be because of the meaning that we've assigned to the gestures or the things that we want. So maybe you want the SP text messages, or you want them to communicate in this way, or you want to go out and do these things more, blah, blah, blah. Usually it's because we've made those things mean that that person loves us, or that makes us worthy, or whatever it is. So I highly encourage you to look at the meanings that you've assigned to what it is to get those things, and what it is to not get those things. So they don't love me, I'm not worthy. And answer your own call internally first. So I had to do that, and then my mother could show up for me. If I had just panicked in that 2-week period, or gone back and gone, I'm just going to call her, it would have kept the same pattern, the old story going, because it would have been my my reaction to the 3D. Though I changed my thoughts in that moment. I said, Mum's fine, affirmation, deal with your shit, as in you've got this. I'm capable of continuing down whatever mental stuff I'm going through on my own. And Mum reached out later that week because I gave the gap to do it, and I changed my thinking, which gave the gap. The thinking came first, the gap came after, and then Mum had the doorway open for her to call me first, to realize that she liked talking to me more often, because she does. We like having the weekly thing. That was Mum's suggestion. We do it once a week. And then I've suggested to her that we play games, because I know my mum loves playing games. So, you know, during COVID isolation, we might find a backgammon, online backgammon thing that we can do. And we're just growing it and building it from there. So, yeah, a bit of a personal story today, though I did want to share it because it was a long time coming success story. It did not take long to implement. I did not affirm it too often, and it probably took a couple of months all up to completely flip. From me calling Mum 1, 2, 3 times a week continuously for probably the longest time I can remember, just regularly calling my mum, and flipping it in like 2 months to weekly Skype chats where she calls me every time, first time. And sometimes she's called me twice in the same day just to let me know some news, and that's always meant a lot to me too. And she knows that I love her, and I'll send her videos, and I'm of course free to call her when I want to as well. And yeah, there's no like set in stone rigidity about it, though. The shift in the paradigm of my mind is what allowed for that transition. The hard talk was also important because it got me to see the energy that I was projecting onto my mother, maybe the reason that she didn't want to call me. And it was healthy. It was healthy for me to see that, so that I could shift my own mindset, so that I was coming towards my mother with a better energy, because relationship I want to build with her is one of love, nurture, friendship, and support. And it's always a work in progress as we both continue to grow as people and learn about each other and learn about ourselves. So yeah, that's my video for today. So I do intend that it gave you some kind of assistance in terms of how shifting your mindset can shift our relationship. It is a success story of mine in terms of, yeah, I guess family interactions, or what's the word? Dynamic. And yeah, that's the video for the day. So please like, subscribe as well. Also, you can check out my Patreon. I release 2 videos a week with activities for you to do in order to implement things into your life that can assist you with continuing to actually expand your own mindset and create the success in your life that you want to see. And I will possibly be getting some tarot readings back up and running soon as well. I haven't yet figured out how that's going to be, but I will get onto that, because that is something that I do enjoy doing as well. And I now have a gig on Saturdays doing readings at Current, so that is a thing as well. So yeah, just negotiating all that. I'll probably do videos on my YouTube 3 times a week as well. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are the days I'm thinking. It's all a bit of a work in progress, so I just want to fill you in as I'm going. A lot of sirens today. I do have my windows wide open though. It's more for the birds, though anyway. Also, you can check out my Facebook group as well. The link is in the description, and it is a group where we can assist each other as a community. It's a free group you can join in, and we just assist each other with our own manifestations. It is pretty early days, so yeah, please come and join in, share the conversation, share your own success stories, ask any questions that you have. We're all on our own journey. We all have our own different, levels of success here and there, and we can all absolutely help each other. Some of us are here and here with certain topics and the other way around with other topics, etc. So come join in the Facebook group as well. All right, that's my spiel today. Thank you so much for watching. It's always a pleasure and an honor. Have a wonderful space time wherever you are, and I will catch you in your next video reading. Bye.